Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, and this one might just blow the lid off of everything that we've been told about the war in the Ukraine, because just hours ago, President Donald J. Trump, yes, Trump himself, leaked a stunning private exchange with Vladimir Putin, and what he revealed has the media scrambling and world leaders in panic mode. According to Trump, this latest massive Russian missile barrage, over 200 drones and warheads raining down on Ukraine, wasn't just revenge. It wasn't just retaliation either. It was a trap. The Ukraine walked right into it. Civilians hit in Kiev. Guys, ask yourself this. Why would Putin tell Trump this, right? And more importantly, why is Trump choosing to reveal it now at this exact moment? Because what you're about to hear connects secret NATO sabotage missions, media cover-ups, and a devastating intelligence failure that the Biden White House is praying that you never learn about, guys. So in today's video, I'm going to unpack exactly what President Trump has just leaked, these claims, Putin's possible setup, and the biggest airstrike of the war may have been exposed. It may have exposed something that's far more dangerous than just missiles, guys. So stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you guys exactly how Trump called this months ago, how Russia may have known Ukraine's playbook in advance, and how the entire world may have just witnessed a trap being sprung in real time. Do not blink, guys. Don't trust the headlines, and don't go anywhere, because what Trump just revealed, this changes everything. If you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video, and subscribe to the channel. Let's break this down, because the moment Trump dropped this bombshell, everything changed. Trump claims that in a private conversation off the record, Vladimir Putin warned him that Ukraine's recent moves weren't just reckless, they were predictable. And not only predictable, they were exploited. According to Trump, Putin expected the sabotage attacks on Russia's long-range bombers, and even hinted that this provocation was exactly what the Kremlin needed to justify a full-scale, high-impact response. And folks, let me tell you, that response came real fast. Trump's words suggest that Ukraine didn't just trigger the strike. They walked right into a military trap that had already been set. And if this is true, Putin was just waiting for a reason to press launch. Then, of course, if that's the case, this wasn't just a strike. It was actually a trap that was sprung at the perfect moment. And yes, you guessed it, guys, Ukraine took the bait. But before we go deeper into what this really means for the global strategy, let's talk about what just happened on the ground. Now let's talk about what Putin's trap actually looked like when it was unleashed. Russia launched over 215 drones and missiles in one single night. Let that sink in, guys. According to Ukraine's own Air Force, this was the largest and most coordinated strike they faced since the war began. And the target? Kharkiv, a city near the Russian border, close enough that sirens are almost pointless. You don't get warning. You don't get prep time. You just get impact. At least 3 civilians were confirmed taken out. 21 were injured, including a very young one, and a 14-year-old girl. That is the human cost of this escalation. But the pattern behind it, that's where it gets even more chilling, because just days earlier, Ukrainian forces reportedly launched a sabotage raid against Russian long-range bombers, the same ones that were capable of reaching deep into Ukraine's interior. This attack was seen as bold, even praised in Western media, guys. But Putin, he didn't just respond. He retaliated with a scale that just suggests that he was waiting for it, as if all of this was part of the script. But here's where it starts to echo back to Trump's bluff playbook. Remember that? In the Kilmar Garcia case, Trump gave the Democrats exactly what they asked for, only to publicly unseal the truth and expose their entire narrative. Sound familiar, right? Because Putin may have played the exact same card. Let the Ukraine act first, then crush them in the court of global opinion by unleashing hell. But here's the question nobody's asking on CNN or MSNBC. Was Ukraine set up by bad intel, or were they thrown into the fire by their so-called allies? So I want to talk about who may have actually pushed Ukraine into this next trap. So you know what's better than a raise, guys? Getting a raise that you never expected. Cecil Frith Sr. said, "I'm now saving $166 a month. When all you have is Social Security, that is a sweet raise. Thanks, Buck. Leslie Taylor also made the same call to Chapter and now saves $1,000 a year. Guys, if your Medicare plan feels like it's draining your wallet, like it probably is for most Americans right now, Chapter could be the best financial move that you can make this year. Give our friends at Chapter a call. They're 100% free. Call them at 909-563-8279, or better yet, visit them on the web at askchapter.org/Ron and tell them Ron told you to call and ask them how much money they can save you on your Medicare. Guys, this is what winning looks like when you're retired. So here's the million-dollar question. Did the Ukraine act alone? Or were they nudged, maybe even baited by Western advisors who knew exactly what would happen? Well, Trump hinted at this during his leak, saying that Putin wasn't just retaliating. He was waiting for a move like the bomber raid, a move that just so happened to come just after weeks of strategic whispering from US and NATO insiders. But here's where it gets dark. Could it be that the Ukraine was encouraged to strike with promises of support, weapons, and cover, only to stand alone when the hammer came crashing down? Because that's what this looks like. A classic bait operation. One side steps forward, only to realize the enemy already built the trap around them. So now let's go even deeper. Because if this was a setup, then someone let it happen. Which brings us to the next question. Was this a case of bad intelligence, or was Ukraine deliberately left in the dark? Now think about it, right? Why didn't US or European agencies detect the Russian missile buildup? Why were civilians caught completely off guard? And why was the Biden administration still talking about peace negotiations? Or I should say former Biden folks who are still lingering around talking about peace negotiations just hours before Russia launched one of the biggest brutal barrages of this entire war. Now, folks, when the people shouted ceasefire, they're the ones that are on the front lines here, guys. This is clearly not democracy. This is overwhelmingly looking like a setup. And if you think that this is a setup, just comment setup down below. I want to read through the comments, and I want to see how many people believe that these folks were set up here. And so now, as Ukraine buries its dead, the media wants you to think that this was all a routine escalation. But Trump's leak says otherwise. You probably want to see how this trap ties directly back to Biden, back to the Democrats, and their latest national security failure, don't you? But real quick, I want to ask you if you realized that there are 168 hours in a week, right? Most people spend 40 of them at work, another 5 to 10 commuting, another 50 hours sleeping. Then they spend the rest recovering from the stress, the doom scrolling, or just existing. And that's called normal. Now, what if you use that time to build something that sets you free instead? That's what the Liberty Pursuit Network is all about, guys. Showing you how to use your hours, the hours that you do control, to build income that you own and design a life that finally feels like your own. So click the link in the pinned comment down below or in the description of this video and join the Liberty Pursuit Network today. Escape the 9-to-5 grind and get your freedom back. So guys, check this out. Let's be honest. If this was a trap and if Ukraine walked into it, who opened the door, right? Trump is making it crystal clear who he's pointing the finger at. Joe Biden, the Democrats, and the entire foreign policy clown show that's been running Washington since 2021. Guys, these are the same people who told us that Kilmar Abrego Garcia was a peaceful father. You guys remember that lie, right? Well, only for Trump to expose him shortly thereafter as an MS-13 trafficker smuggling women and children across the border. They told us Ukraine was winning. Remember that? All these reports saying that Ukraine was winning, only for Putin to drop 215 warheads overnight. They told us diplomacy was working, only for America's own military analysts to admit that Russia isn't backing down. They're dicking in. And now, after Trump leaks that this latest airstrike might have actually been orchestrated from the start, Biden's old folks in the administration are in full damage control mode at this time. But they're too late, guys, because every American watching knows what this is really about: losing control. Biden's administration let this happen through weakness, through miscalculation, or through sheer incompetence, maybe a combination of all three. And now they want to distract you with a travel ban that comes years too late. Oh, sure, They've slapped entry restrictions on 12 nations known for terror ties, visa overstays: Burma, Chad, Haiti, up to 50% visa overstay rates. That's real. That's a problem. But what about the World Cup loophole? Apparently, if you kick a soccer ball really good, you're exempt. So much for national security, right? Well, folks, this is what happens when you put global optics ahead of national defense. This is what happens when you play checkers while Putin's playing chess. And now Trump's leak just confirmed it. They've been playing right into the enemy's hands. But we're not done yet, guys, because while the White House spins, the media is busy rewriting history again. Now, let's talk about the final battlefront in all of this, not missiles, not drones, narrative. Because just days ago, the media was laughing at Trump for calling the Russia-Ukraine war a playground fight. They mocked him. They clipped the quote. They said, he was oversimplifying global conflict. They said all these crazy things. But now that the dust is settling in Kharkiv and hundreds of Russian warheads just lit up the skies, Trump's analogy looks less like a joke and more like a warning. Trump never said Ukraine should surrender. He said what we all saw coming. Putin is the bully, and the bully he was never interested in peace to begin with, unfortunately. And now, after the grand jury expose, after the leaked conversations, after the trap was sprung, the media is doing what it always does best: lying, backpedaling, spinning. They want you to believe that this was just another strike, that Ukraine is still in control, that Biden did a good job handling it up to this point. Handled like Afghanistan, handled like the border, handled like inflation, crime, China. Oh, yeah, Kilmar Garcia. Guys, they're not reporting the truth anymore. In fact, I don't remember the last time that they did report the truth. They're managing fallout at this point. But Trump, he dropped the truth like a missile, and the blast radius is spreading. So here's the takeaway. Russia's strike was not random. It was baited. Trump says he knew. Putin told him. And now everyone's trying to clean up the mess. Now, the question is, are you going to fall for the media's next lie? Or are you going to remember this moment the next time that they try to cover for the previous administration's failure and blame Trump for exposing it? Now, if you made it this far in the video, guys, drop a quick comment down below with a truth wins and let me know your take on the Russia-Ukraine trap theory. And if you're done with the fake news, the cover-ups, and the weak leadership, I want you to subscribe to the channel, share this video, and join the fight for transparency, guys. Now, listen. If you've ever felt 1 ounce of truth in what we just discovered, or I should say just uncovered, listen, there's a reason for this. Do not scroll past this. There is a reason why YouTube served this video to you guys, because if Trump was right about this, about the trap, about the strike, about the lies, then what else have they been hiding? Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe if you're sick of being misled. Share this video with your friends, with your family, your coworkers who still think that CNN is telling them the truth. This is not about sides anymore, guys. This is about truth versus deception. And the only way that we win is by waking up more people. Let's get loud, guys. Let's wake them up. Thank you. See you next time.